Hi everyone, it's me again, and Squish Gang is present. And today we are going to be talking about another Shane Jeffree ordeal, kind of the whole universe, their cinematic universe, where we're at now, and kind of the general opinions of the public. Also, obviously, I look a little bit different than I normally do in the videos. You're getting my ugly mug today because I literally do not have time to put makeup on, edit, and film. One of them had to leave the process, so I decided to not put the makeup on. I work, then I have class tomorrow night. I work, and then I have to do driving stuff. Then I work, and then I have my driver's test, and then potentially something else I have to go to, or class, depending. Then I have Thursday, which I have to work at night after working all day. Then it'll be Friday. And I didn't want to delay this a week because it's like already a little bit old news. So here we are. That's why we're doing it. So we're going to summarize the gossip around the Shane and Jeffree series, or rather the video that just came out, and kind of just how everybody's feeling. We're going to talk general opinions and the nature of what Shane Dawson defines as a conspiracy theory. Before we do get into that, links to social sources, ways to support the channel, including Amazon, wishlist, Patreon, and YouTube memberships, all down below, along with an email to suggest content or contact me, as well as any affiliate links, including Gerard Cosmetics and Every Jewels. Every Jewels starting, I believe, the 25th, if not Monday. I'm not sure what day. I forgot to check. I think it's the 25th, but I don't remember. Anyway, they are starting their what's called Crazier Than Black Friday sale, where everything's like 80% off, and then my code stacks, I believe, another 10%. So use the code if you would like. Obviously, if you wouldn't like, I'm just letting you know that that's out there for like buying, because you'll have it by Christmas. I can almost, like, if you're ordering at the end of October, so you can get some Christmas gifts and stuff. I feel like that'd be kind of fun. So yeah, that's that on that. I like to let you know when any of my affiliated whatevers are having sales, because then it's like even more cool and slay. 3 parts of the video. Part 1's going to be the summary. Part 2, the general opinions. And part 3, the art of half-assed conspiracy. I did this with the last Shane and Jeffree series. I think these videos are fun summaries, really quick. And I like these later videos sometimes. So let's get right into it. So part 1's going to be the summary. So I'm going to be fully transparent when I say this is probably the most nothing video I've actually ever seen of any of like the Shane Jeffree universe. And I genuinely think they're getting worse. And I know that a lot of people have this conversation around the fact that, oh, well, we were just under like the Shane Dawson spell before. Like we just kind of thought that things were way better than they were because everyone liked them, undeservingly to a certain extent. But it's like genuinely. So I do other stuff while I, listen to these videos. I think I was doing a little graphic, which I'll actually put up. I'll put up here for funsies on my research project. It's right there. So I was making that thing, and I was listening to the video I had on my other monitor. Anyway, I genuinely just ended, and I was like, huh? And I scrubbed around and like checked if that's where it actually ended. I thought maybe like it got deleted while I was watching it, or YouTube had crashed or something. No, that was just it. Yeah, there's really like, I would suggest watching from the clips that I have, because it's just the rest of it is just, it's more nothing than ever. The video begins. Okay. We're talking about Shane 4 years ago, apparently had this thought that discount stores such as TJ Maxx, TK Maxx, Winners would take their makeup and resell returned makeup. And he was at the risk of getting sued last time, so he didn't name any names. But from the video, it's clear who it was. There was a video from someone named Lauren, which I'll tag their video down below, where she actually showed that like he didn't even do a good job blurring the store, because there's like frames where you can see not only the address of the store, but also it's like the actual sign's not blurred properly. So I'll put that clip in now.
And 4 years ago, it happened in California.
So with that being said, Shane, Rylan, and Lizzie decide to go to their local discount store, TJ Maxx.
And they wouldn't shut the fuck up how much they love you.
And the goal is that Shane is going to go in there and just like mosey around. Lizzie is going to buy some makeup items.
My plan is to have you buy the makeup and you return the makeup. So we'll buy a few things, like we'll buy makeup and like a jacket and a pillow, so it's a less often.
And then when they get back to the house, they're going to mark it and then return it back to that discount store to see if they end up putting it back on their shelves.
But yeah, so essentially like what he's saying is that they take all the makeup there is like just garbo, like the returned, broken, whatever, and that people are being scammed in order to buy it. I have lots of nice discount store makeup, like what you've seen in the description of a ton of videos. This is my Cover FX bronze, like if I can open it, my Cover FX bronzer duo. This obviously it's used because I've been using it, but I got this from the discount store. It's obviously not broken. I have a couple of other things. I just can't tell from looking right away. My favorite powders ever that have been discontinued, I actually buy from, this is the Bite Beauty Press Powder. I like the Gerard Cosmetics loose powders the most, but this is my favorite press powder. This is the Bite Beauty Changemaker Press Powder. I bought a bunch of backups of these from the discount store. Becca Highlighter in Prismatic Amethyst. This is my winter's makeup haul. This is also from the discount store. Look at the nice clean swatch. Still performs great. No issue. Expired because I've had it open for like a year, but it's powder highlight. Give me a break. Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipstick. This was sealed, unopened, undamaged. No issues. It's a little bit lumpy now because I've been using it. Again, clearly. Also from the discount store. Ooh! Becca Woo! And this Becca powder, also from the discount store. So now that we've finished my discount makeup haul that I just impromptu haul that I did there, I think it's interesting to kind of see the shift in the sort of content that he's made in this regard. I think when a lot of people come out of being in severe poverty, they talk about this too sometimes with like super morbidly obese people who lose a ton of weight, right? They'll say they're called them old fats or something like that. And then they'll have a lot of vitriol towards fat people, a lot of hate towards fat people, because to them it was like a set of changes that could have been made and it was just done with. And why can't every single person do exactly what I did, exactly how I did it, and then they'll inevitably just get the exact same result? This is kind of the sort of process that goes into people who are wealthy. This is why you get a ton of those grind set drop shipper people that are like, oh, it's so easy. It's just people are just lazy and that's why they're not inherently rich. This is something that I think Shane Dawson kind of does on a subconscious level. I think a lot of his content has shifted into the conspiracy being based on things that poor people like and kind of shitting on things that poor people like. For example, off-brand foods was a big one last time. Chuck E. Cheese as a place to go to. And then now we're talking discount makeup. I think it's something that is once, maybe, it's whatever, 2-3 times. I think we're starting to get to a pattern of behavior with these sort of consumer-based conspiracy theories. But I'll get more into that, obviously, in the third part. But so then he calls Jafar Starlington, talking about how Jeffree had some these like really ugly teal lipsticks that he says went bad prematurely because of the storage. Can't admit to ever not selling really well for anything, even though those, if I recall, those same or similar tone of lipsticks often ended up in his mystery boxes, which was typically overstocked makeup, allegedly in Minecraft, I suppose. And I think he's deemed as this sort of expert, Jeffree, in this case. So Shane talks to him and he asks about the story about the lipsticks being taken from where they're supposed to be, or they never ended up where they're supposed to be disposed of, and instead ended up at a TJ Maxx or whatever, Ross. I think that's another one. Macy's? Is that a discount or is that something else? I don't know. I'm not American. I know Ross and TJ Maxx are discount stores, and Marshall's. It's just very interesting because it's like, why are the conspiracies never like relaying to... They used to be about things like the iPhones and prison experiments or government established like firms and things along those lines. But now his conspiracies are all like, well, look at how gross these things that poor people like. So now we've moved from Jeffree being like, they stole my lipsticks and sold them at TJ Maxx because that, again, that's the only way they could ever end up there.
Okay, so a few years ago when we talked about this, you said that you and your company, you guys damaged out a bunch of, I think it was expired makeup, not returned, but expired. And it was picked up by a truck and it was supposed to be burned. And you said something happened. Are you okay saying that, or do you want me to cut this?
Yeah, absolutely. This happened once, and we changed all our protocols we were getting rid of, actually it was expired liquid lipsticks that had gotten weird in our warehouse before we had the full freezers in there. So one shade, and it was like a hot teal, it went bad and it like accelerated the expiration and it was in too hot of an area. We would never have sold those, so we sent them in for destruction, which means they can go in like an incinerator. The middleman company was taking money under the table and selling off me, Anastasia, and other brands that were going to be destroyed, and reselling the bad product, which can make my name look bad, is also really illegal. So we changed all our protocols, and now we take things to a different company and we drive it ourselves.
So you said that you like walked in, you don't have to say the store, but you walked in somewhere and you saw it on a shelf, right?
Yes, and the middleman, and that store did not know because the middleman was the beauty broker, and they lied and said they were representing us, and the company did not confirm with us, sadly. So
now we go to discounts, unnamed discount store, which is obviously TJ Maxx, and going and buying a bunch of makeup. They're commenting on about how a lot of it's broken, how a lot of it shouldn't be on the shelves, how dare they're selling this to people.
First palette I picked up. Look. That's crazy. Why would they even sell that? This is on their floor. Look at that.
That's not even used. That's just thrown in the trash. Why would they
And
sell
the half the stuff was open, and like that was like that on the shelf. What?
I was just about to say it looks better than 4 years ago, but maybe not.
But why would that even? How did that end up on the floor?
What? Why does this keep happening? Like people are touching them, and it's on the floor.
They should just throw that away. Why would they sell that?
People mangle the makeup at TJ Maxx, and something that they never considered is, and this is something that's happened to me a ton of times, and I always feel so bad when it happens. The makeup is so tightly packed in these little like acrylic shelving things that sometimes when you grab one thing, it knocks like 3 things over and they hit the floor. Powders, when they hit the floor, break. That's not something that is inherent to poor people makeup. Here, I'll show you something. So this is my Lethal Cosmetics multi-chrome palette that this was a birthday gift to myself. This was like cumulatively like over $100 for 6 shadows because I live in Canada, so shipping anything here is always a huge mess. If you look at this one, I've had to repress it. That arrived broken. I just didn't feel like complaining because I was too scared. Because they already had to do like a crazy trek from Germany, right? But if I swatch the broken shadow, clearly it's still performing fine. I'll compare it to one that's not broken. Right? They're both equally shifty, shiny, whatever. Like, it's not just because the powder in the compact gets a little bit busted, crusted, dusted doesn't mean that it's finished, and not like it can never ever be used. It's just so strange to me. The other thing is, again, you can repress it. Something that they don't consider either is that like some people will disinfect the makeup they buy from those places and are aware of those sorts of kind of contamination issues. All you need to do to disinfect a lot of powders is you take a Q-tip and rubbing alcohol or hydrogen peroxide, and then you spray the Q-tip and you just kind of rub it on the powder. I do it when I would people sell makeup on Poshmark, on Macari, on Depop. They disinfect the makeup. That's how they sell it. I sold makeup on Poshmark. What I did was I sprayed the Q-tip a ton, and then I rubbed it over the powder like 3-4 times per. I didn't sell. I sold like a highlighter face palette and a pressed powder, or a pressed blush palette rather. And like that's what I did. I just cleaned it off. It was pretty easy. And then as far as I know, there was no pink eye, no staph infections, nothing like that. Makeup that's been swatched and then you buy it is just a thing for like disgusting people that are scammed, There's no other process. Regardless, they bring in Lizzie from the SIP. Now, I was like, is this the same person? Because I was wondering if Ryland's host was still the same person as before. This has got complete side tangent, but I went to the SIP and I went to the first episode to see like who the host was, if it was the same person. For one, the first episode's gone. It starts at episode 2. I wonder why that is. For 2, there is something strange with the imagery at the opening. Why are they seemingly looking naked together? Is everything in the Shane and Rylan universe just gross and off-putting? Like, there's just no social aptitude in any capacity in any of these people. So then, we move on from seeing Lizzie. So essentially what happens is they have a small, like, little side part before they get into the actual, like, going to TJ Maxx thing, where they talk about how, like, clean beauty is a scam, because what they're doing is that they're removing preservatives in order to have the makeup rot faster, essentially, or go bad faster, and then you need more product. This is something that's really interesting because, like, his citation is one YouTube video that he doesn't credit. So, or like he doesn't credit, rather, sorry, in the video. It just says featured creators. So it's like, I don't know which one that is. It's not on the screen ever. Even then, like I said, am I saying I necessarily distrust the person he cited? No. But at the same time, your citation is a YouTube video on, like, the whole industry being a scam. Now, do I particularly like clean beauty? No. Because I'm also somebody who studied organic chemistry at some point, and I kind of know, like, preservatives have a purpose, and preservatives are not inherently bad. The same thing as when people say things like chemicals are bad. It's like everything's a chemical compound. The only natural thing, well, like, the natural base elements are a thing, obviously, but, like, things like carbon, when they are made with something, is a compound. Compounds mixed together, we all know. Anyway, so that's just like, he has these little, as opposed to, like, actually unpacking anything besides this sort of, like, TJ Maxx grand conspiracy, he will go on these little side tangents with no true resolutions. So then they go back to actually going to TJ Maxx. They take so essentially, like, this is like a ColourPop palette, right? How you have these, like the little unicartons. He is taking them and he's putting little stars inside like this to see if they take the makeup and they put them on the shelves. He's claimed that when he did this 4 years ago, that this also happened, where so they went back the next day after they returned the makeup. They went to buy the same products, and then they found the ones with the stars in them. Now, if that's what they're actually doing, that's, like, super gross, obviously. And I'm not dogging Shane Dawson on that one. Do I feel like there might be some missing context here or something? I'm not 100% sure. I digress.
First, let's swap. Fuck. I am so... Wait. No way. Oh my god. These are literally the same. Did we just crack a fucking conspiracy right now? Is this real? Okay, this is crazy. I feel like I need to try this on my actual lips. How is this real? Listen, once again, just a theory. I don't want to get sued. Maybe it's just a really good dupe made by the same company that owns the same two products. All right, so I'm gonna try it on my lips. All right, zoom in. I'm gonna do half of my lip with one, half with the other. So first, YSL. Next, L'Oreal. What? $1? $45? How many times have I said that? I can't get over it. Okay, this just got weird. What am I doing? This is crazy. This might be the craziest makeup conspiracy so far because, once again, not confirmed, but are you kidding me? L'Oreal, you have some explaining to do. Wow, that actually pisses me off. Okay, I just tried out the L'Oreal YSL thing, and oh my god, they're the fucking same.
And again, this doesn't negate the argument that people have the capacity to clean the makeup. Now we continue on. There's this grand YSL gloss conspiracy where Shane has the YSL $45 lip gloss and the $1.97 but $7 for most of the shades L'Oreal lip gloss. L'Oreal allegedly owns, or whatever, a YSL Beauty, and he's like, oh my god, these are the same. Everyone's being scammed. One of them is $45 and one of them is $1.97, and they're the same gloss. The dupe community exists.
Okay, so here's the palette.
Okay.
And I drew a star inside. Oh my god. Okay.
You're making me nervous.
Okay. Ready? Okay.
Hold on. Okay.
You ready? I'm just gonna rip it.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Oh my God.
No!
I'm dying. There's cum all over my face.
God.
I don't really know what else to say about that. Like, that's something that everybody knows. Well, I was gonna say that's as stupid as knowing about no-name foods, but he was also doing that. I just be like, you're so stupid for not knowing that. Hello? Like, here's another. I have a dupe with me at all times. This is one of my favorite things. These are the Sephora plumping glosses, okay? You can see this one's used like crazy. And this is actually, there is no product left. I should probably throw this out and swap it out for another one because I always have backups because of how much I love these glosses. These are about, I don't know, $12, $13 a piece, something like that. And they are a formula everything dupe for the Dior ones, except for the applicator. And Green Eggs and Glam on TikTok did a formula comparison and like with down to the ingredients and everything of these two. They're made they're owned by the same people. They're allegedly made in the same labs. So this is another example of those things. This is super common. We've been new. There's things like dupes in the sense of that they're a very similar product. For example, this is a Quo Beauty plumping lip butter, makeup by Mario, whatever, dupe vibe. That's what this is. These things all exist. There's a whole grand conspiracy about dupes. So everything's interlaced again because he can never have a cohesive timeline in any capacity. Then there's another conspiracy that the small sample sizes of mascaras are better than the big ones to get you hooked and then buy the full size. To that I say, based on watching his application, I am not a beauty guru. I am not a mua. But what I see when I am clicking through right now, you can hear me clicking through. What I see is that his big, clumsy ass hands doesn't hold the long brush the same as the stubby one. So I think it's an issue of application with a full-size wand. I think he genuinely just holds the shorter brush better, which would make sense why they would act differently, because a lot of what makes a mascara is the brush. My favorite mascaras are the Lancome Lidl and if I can find it, God, the Elf Lash and Roll. So this here is a dupe for the Benefit Roller Lash because of the shape of but it's because of the shape of the brush. Most of the actual mascara formulas are pretty exchangeable, give or take, except for like certain types of like waterproof formulas, tubing formulas, stuff like that. But again, all of his things have like pretty easy counter explanations. Yeah, they go to TJ Maxx, they have their big revelation or whatever, and then they're just talking in the car. There's no actual outro. Like, Shane leaves the car and then it just goes black. This is after they've made their grand discovery.
Okay, I'm gonna actually go back in there and go pee. Should I return it again?
Did your heart take it?
Can we just do this every day for a week?
It becomes our new morning routine, and then we start to miss it once it's over. We're like best friends with them.
Oof. Okay, sorry. No, I'll leave. I'll keep it.
I can't believe that it was actually there.
So that's the video. So with that, we'll move on to part 2, and we'll talk about the general opinions. So what I did is I surveyed the besties on Twitter, and I asked thoughts on the Shane video. I'm going to use this for... So I have the blessed opportunity of my life to be mutuals with Nick Duramio, who you don't know. If those of you who do not know, I'll tag his channel down below, is the clip breakdown guy who became really famous for absolutely ripping Shane Dawson a new asshole every time he puts out a video, because Nick actually has a concept of film and the process of doing anything. Clearly, I don't. You are on a cheap mirrorless camera and a bunch of white lights. That's why I look like I haven't slept in a month, which, you know what? Also that. Nick wrote and ratioed me under my own tweet. Intrusive thought, I wonder if they've explored each other's bodies. This is referring to Shane and Jeffree, by the way. If I had to suffer that, you also had to suffer that. And then Tax Ship replied with Ryland watching. People are just saying that they didn't even know the video was put out. It's like a snooze fest. Anna Marie Forcino said the conspiracy palette money ran out, I guess. Pretty much just a lot of people did actually have comments about classism. So it seems it was one of three camps, right? It was either this was nothing, boring, and nobody cared. 2, I didn't even know this happened. Or 3, this was a very classist video where that didn't actually really do anything. And I really agree with that because, like I said, I was bringing up this sort of concept earlier of all of the conspiracies are suddenly relating to poor people. One of these things from Elsa_Rochelle said, exactly 0 of these things were as shocking as he wanted us to think they were because we knew all of it already. I literally wear designer makeup with drugstore brands and no one can tell pricey products from inexpensive ones. At Ariel Lols, but with 2 A's, said, glad to finally live in a time where they drop a video and there's no commotion over it. The world is healing. Which I agree, but also it's kind of sad because they actually did get a lot of views on that one compared to some of the other ones. But it is what it is. It's just a very silly, classist, useless thought piece. Not even thought, because think something to be thoughtful or whatever would actually need to provide like context of any capacity and actual new information. But with that, let's just go into part 3 of my little sum up. I'm going to conclude my thoughts here a little bit in that regard. So I think what happened here is Shane's looking into consumer conspiracies and often those related to makeup because he needs to find a way to keep tapping into the makeup market that he found so profitable and it was so easily profitable. But he needs to be able to set foot away from it because he did say that he was leaving the beauty community. And if he wasn't leaving it, it would be super hypocritical for him to stay in it in any capacity because everyone would just tear him apart. And I think it's always interesting that this drive for sort of relating to consumer-based conspiracies, it's very jarring to kind of sit here and just watch someone make a sort of huge event out of people being poor. Like, I'm not making a lot of money right now because I'm doing an unpaid internship full time, so I'm not able to put out as much content as I want. And I'm also not able to do the other job that I was doing nearly as often because I work 40 hours a week just at the internship, let alone doing everything else. So now we're pinching pennies a lot. And I think if I'm buying stuff from Sephora right now, I am waiting for the sale because I need to restock some of the things I always wear, like the NARS concealer, my Amika detangler, things like that are my holy grails that I can't find replacements for. Also because my skin's very sensitive and very particular with specific things. That's why, let's say if you look at my most viewed video on the channel, where I do my makeup, you can see my skin looks a lot worse than it does now. It's because I finally figured out what some of the issues were. Anyway, it's making a sort of show out of poor people while pretending to be one of them is just a very patronizing and unpleasant something to sit on, and something that I'm not particularly fond of, obviously. And I think we all need to kind of consider that we all know he's run out of ideas, and I think a lot of this is just designed to be chatter. But I think if I'm going to get a bag, I'm going to get it because I actually am poor. So, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to keep buying my discount makeup because most people are smart enough to check it before they buy it. Like, I know Shane's just used to throwing things in the cart, not checking the price, but like actual poor people will check. What I'll do when I go to TJ Maxx, if it's not, or Winners, whatever, if it's not in one of those boxes there that you can't open, I will open it, not touch it, but I'll open it and just make sure that it's not damaged, smudged, broken, anything like that. And then I'll take it home. If it's not, easy. And then even then I'll usually give it like a little clean before I use it. But I've never had a single issue with the makeup. You think about where it's the same thing as you're not going to go to a thrift store, buy the clothes and wear them without washing them. You're not going to go to the underwear store where everyone's touching the undies on the little table or the drawers that are not like sealed and then wear them. Like, if you do and you have an issue, that's your fault kind of thing. I think that while obviously there's a bit of a thought process around the responsibility of the stores, at the same time, the discount, leaving it out for you, that's kind of the nature of the store. And to make it like a conspiracy of trying to scam poor people, is a bit silly because that's the reality they have to live. Because also when you're poor, you already know that the corporations have never had your best interest and will not have your best interest. So them trying to cut you under one, like, we know. And it's honestly something that you're trying to like pretend. Because that's the other thing. These stores are giving you like a small taste of like luxury. It's like a gateway to being able to try to experience some of the nice things that people like you take for granted. So then making a video mocking them essentially is just kind of annoying and frustrating and just kind of pissed me off. So yeah, the conspiracy is people are too poor to buy it right from Sephora or order it from the Gucci website like I did. Okay, Shane, I mean, girl, I'm tired. Anyway, I'm going to conclude the video here. Links, source, and ways to support the channel, along, including Amazon, Patreon, YouTube members, the whole line, all down below, along with an email to suggest content. And Shane and Jeffree still suck. Jeffree, racist piece of shit. Shane, general piece of shit for a bunch of other reasons. Regardless, you kids have fun. Have a great day, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye!